Hi, I'm Melinda Van Fleet, and welcome to the Good Karma Success Coach podcast. I'm an author, speaker, and success coach who helps women believe in themselves, build confidence, and take action. In 2009, my husband Ryan and I were laid off at the same time, and we moved to the Florida Keys without jobs, not knowing anyone, hardly any money, and we never even been here. But we made it. And now, not every day is sunshine and rainbows, but we're living our best lives. All along in our journey, I've always said that someday when we get our shit together, we will help others. So each week, my intent is to be relatable and bring you tactical tips, tools, share my learnings and stories that can help inspire or transform you wherever you are in your career or general life and make an impact. I strongly believe that if I can do it, you can do it too. So what's stopping you? Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Good Karma Success Coach. I have been really into human design even more than I initially had planned. So I thought I would jump on today and chat about content consumption and human design and assessments kind of at a top level perspective. Because what I see out there, and nod your head or raise your hand if you're listening and you agree, is that there's so much content and there's so much consumption, but there's not a lot of action or embodiment or infusing it into your daily lives. And I've been guilty of that before. So this year I made a conscious effort to not be doing that anymore, but I still see it. I still see it. So don't feel bad if you're one of those people, and know you're not alone. And give yourself some props if you recognize it and it's something on your list that you wish to change. Because again, we've all been there, I'm sure, in some way, shape, or form. So one of the things that I have podcasted about before, and I was looking at my podcast, I think it was episode 122, and then I had Ann Smith on a couple episodes later, and that is human design. And I love human design. And many of you already know what it is. Maybe you've pulled your charts before, and I'll put the link in the show notes for the chart that I prefer. But are you embodying it? Are you living in your design? Number one. And then as you meet people and you go through situations in your life, are you consciously relating it back to human design, which can then give yourself grace, give the other person grace, lessen any judgment coming from you or that you may think they're putting on you. And that is what I think is super important. And that's the stage that I'm in. So I have done the work to understand my chart for the past year. I was introduced to human design in November, so almost a year. My chart, my husband's chart, and really dig into so many different facets. But now I'm like, wow, my eyes are wide open when I have interactions with other people. And that is even more cool, in my opinion, than just the basic knowledge of myself, right? What happened to me this past week that started the little light bulbs going off was I was in a mastermind group and this woman was speaking, and this woman speaks up a lot, which is fantastic. She speaks up a lot. And her chart was getting shared, and I saw that she has 9 gates activated out of the 11 gates in her throat center. Ding, 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 ding. There you go. It's just naturally how she's designed. She likes to talk. So then what did I do? I quickly whipped out my chart because I never looked at it that way. And I definitely know enough about myself, especially at age 50, to understand what kind of speaker I am. And I looked, I only have 1 gate activated, and it actually is a channel. So when 2 gates connect in human design, it forms a channel. So that channel, and when I read about the channel, which I already knew about the channel, but I reread about the channel, it totally made sense in regards to my presentation style and how I am as well. We're just different people. We're both perfect, but just different. And then I started to do like a little bit more deep dive in my thoughts. I was like, this makes sense too, back to my corporate days when I would sit in these huge meetings and someone would speak up. And often I was like, why are they speaking up? This isn't really anything that we need to know right now. It's just prolonging the meeting. And I would have all sorts of judgment. And then I realized now, sitting here, that's probably just how that person was designed. Whereas I'm just someone who, quote unquote, keeps it tight and is more succinct. This person happened to talk longer in these meetings. It was a regular person in the corporate meetings back then. And I remember that. The same goes for a coach that I had hired who talked a lot. I would love, in hindsight, to have access to her human design chart. I don't think she's ever pulled it. I don't think she knows what it is. But if she did, oh my gosh, I would love to see her chart to see if she has a lot of gates or channels activated in her throat center. Fascinating, right? Fascinating. It alleviates so much judgment, so much, why are they talking? All those things that as humans, we all go through. Like it or not, we all have things going on in our head. And it's just part of it. We're all humans. The other thing that happened in conjunction with the same woman is she has a channel that is activated that's about knowing and wanting to know and not always maybe being able to find the answer that suits her. I thought that was fascinating because, again, when she was speaking up, she was kind of asking the same type of question that she had previously asked. So it just led me to draw the conclusion from listening that she is just wanting to know the answer and it might not come. And it might be more challenging or frustrating for her to understand that. It's just part of her design. I took that a step further when I was reading something that brought me back a few weeks to a talk I gave. And when I gave this talk, someone in the audience asked a question. And I could tell from his energy and from his facial expression that I didn't quite answer the question to what he was looking for, right? And that happens when you're a speaker. And when you're anybody, right, you're not always going to have the most perfect answer. And so many scenarios are different and so many things are going on in your head and everyone's different, right? That's why communication is often challenging. And I was reading this and I thought to myself, I wonder if he has that channel activated too, where he is just one of those people that really wants to know exactly point by point what to do. And if they don't get it, that answer, that sometimes, it wasn't good for them, right? Then they may be a little frustrated or have some judgment against you if you don't have the perfect answer. So it's just like an interesting way to look at it. Of course, we can all do better with communication. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that sometimes it boils down to how we are designed from the universe and how it relates to our real life every day and how it relates to other people. And the more and more you can think of that and embody that and infuse that in your thought process and in your life and in your interactions, oh my gosh, so much less stress. So how do we get the world to be on this page? That's a pretty big task, right? But if we can all make a conscious effort in our own lives every day when we're about to judge someone or think that something could be done better, maybe it's just how they are. Maybe it's just how they were designed from the universe and they're living in their design. Whether they know it or not, they're living in their design. Because when you're living in your design, if you are someone who's a student of human design, you know this, that's where you're happy. That's where things flow. That's where things manifest and things start to happen for you. So it is your goal as a being on this earth in this lifetime to be happy, to allow, to live with ease, to have fun. We all have to get stuff done too. I'm not saying don't take action and do the work and do the reps, but it all goes together in a flow. So if you can live in your design while you're doing that, all the things will happen so much easier for you and you'll just feel better. But you have to remember to do that, right? You all have to remember to do that. I have to remember to do that, and that's the work, the constant reminding and retraining your human brain. That is the work. So whatever assessment you have taken in your life, whether it's the bank assessment that's free on my website, feel free to take that. That's a quick, easy 90-second assessment. Or it's human design, and again, I will put the link in the show notes. Or it's something else. There's so many out there. There's the Enneagrams, Myers-Briggs, HBDI. Oh my gosh, there's gazillions of them. Take them and then do the work and remember and embody the process. Embody the process, embody the learnings for yourself, your gifts, and the things that you maybe would like to work on. Of course, your friends and family, and then strangers too. Strangers too. It'll just make your life so much easier. And you'll be able to operate just in a better state of mind, less triggers, less mind loops, less judgment, less comparison, all those things that we all have and we don't like to talk about. Let's face it, no one likes to talk about it. So, but if you can, secretly work behind the scenes, why not, right? Why not do that? So I am just over the moon. I'm definitely infusing human design in my coaching, in my private one-on-one coaching. So feel free to reach out if you're interested. I would love to work with you, and in all my programs. So till next week, when Sienna comes back on as a co-host, be grateful, be curious, always be learning, and you know what? Have some fun too. Thanks for listening.